Welcome to the Diversity of Thought podcast. I'm your host, Quasi, along with my main man, Johnny Boy. So what's good, Flex Luca? What's good? Talk to the people.
All right. It's come to my attention that uh, a certain gentleman has been showing up on our timeline, and it's
Yes.
been like repetitive. I thought that he was out of the limelight. You know what I mean? And I've noticed that a lot of people in the culture are transitioning into different stuff,
Mm.
and he's becoming a bit of an interview staple. So I'm gonna let you start it off since this. You
So
know
I,
what I mean?
so I recently watched the Vlad TV interview with 6ix9ine, right? I remember when he first came out, it was smoking hot, smoking hot. It was a little bit weird to me, but I was loving the music because I find that introductory song Gummo, because he had a song with Trippie Redd that wasn't his first song,
Right.
but Gummo was his first solo song,
Right.
and how it had New York in a fire,
It
a
did.
frenzy.
It
So
did.
I was tapped in,
It did.
and I was a fan. Were you a fan?
All right. A fan is a real specific word. I wouldn't say a fan. He definitely had it.
He had it.
You know what I'm saying? Like
He had it, son.
like he captivated your attention, if
Mhm.
nothing else.
And you know what's crazy about this? Because I want to sidebar, right? He had the New York rap scene and stuff like that. He had it, right? He had it on lock. He wasn't really saying nothing because he's not lyrical. He just had the energy. You know what I'm saying?
So this is what I would say. All right, bet. So I won't pretend that I was above the gang culture, right?
Yeah.
I grew up in gang culture. I've been around it my whole life, right? So when it comes to like that gang drill, New
Yeah.
York, he was definitely he was at the top of he was
He was
definitely
top
at the
of it.
top. You know what I'm
Is that
saying?
considered drill? I mean, it's but traditional New York drill, Chicago drill. I don't think it's.
Chicago, the whole,
Yeah.
so the allegiance in drill
Yeah.
is gang related. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then NWA was drill. It's gang culture. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? It's allegiance. These guys are solo artists, not connected to nobody,
Mhm.
is not drill. Even if he's doing quote unquote drill music. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
So, but you know, the dope thing about him in particular is because he's Latino, he didn't tap into the Spanish side of the music until after the court case and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Then the Spanish wave was
Mhm.
exciting and stuff like
That's
that.
have you seen that route taken before in hip hop, where their way in is us and their way out is
I
through
mean,
their.
well, Nori did it, but Nori is us.
So
People, for the most part, he Cuban, so he be considered us.
so this is what I
Right?
will say. Right? Hip
Fajro, us.
hip hop is
No, Fajro didn't do no reggaeton back then.
hip hop is world renowned, right? So I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say that everyone's not welcome, right? But it's a predominantly black culture. It's predominantly black, right?
Yeah.
So when you mention Fat Joe,
Mhm.
right? Fat Joe, I don't think he have any Spanish album. You know what I'm
No, he
saying?
don't. He
When
don't.
when you mention rest in peace, Big Pun, I don't think they have any Spanish album. But these artists are really they're really invested in the culture.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like Fat Joe is a Latin brother, right?
Real hip
You
hop.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
real hip hop.
Fat Joe is ours, and I'm not
Yeah.
talking about ours as in like the community. I'm talking about he's ours. You know what I'm saying? We never giving him back.
Yeah.
We never giving
Big shout
Joe
out.
this fire.
Yeah.
We not giving Joe back. We not giving Pun back.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But they got certain artists that dip into our culture to heat up and then leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Post Malone and you know what I'm saying. But anyway, enough of that. What we really want to talk about is Tekashi 6ix9ine, right?
Okay,
Because he
okay.
had it. He was it.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? He could have been a potential $100 million. Nah, he had it, bro.
I mean,
When it comes to if they really tapped into branding and stuff for him, he could have been one of those.
I don't know I don't know he didn't reach that pinnacle, so I'm not really pocket watch. I don't know. You don't know how much.
I mean to say he could have. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
All right, got
You know what I'm
All
saying? Because his reign wasn't that long.
right.
You know, it was he had a year run? A year, bro.
It was a good year,
It
though,
was a
boy.
good
That
year.
he could everything. So I had to change my opinion on how he engaged with hip hop.
Yeah.
Bet. So hear me out, right?
Yeah.
He just dove into the culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was the other way around, though. Like everybody was trying to do a song with Tekashi. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
A Boogie,
yeah,
Gunna.
I don't do that. Don't allow that. I bridge the label.
They had songs together.
Boogie was already him. In my
Both of
opinion.
them, but-
So let's not step away from Tekashi
Okay.
because there's a reason why we're going in that direction.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Boogie babies in New York.
Yeah, they
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Boogie's a great song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Boogie babies in New York that
Yeah.
sing, do
Rap.
all of that. You know what I'm
He
saying?
nice.
Yeah. But Tekashi definitely was trailblazing in that.
We talk about how they blow the bag, right? Crabs in a barrel mentality. They find the golden goose and everybody wanted to bleed it. As opposed to say, hey, this is my ticket out. Do you agree?
I understand where you're coming from, right? I get what you're saying. You're talking about as far as Tekashi, right?
Yeah.
How it went,
How it went.
right? So Tekashi was like, I like this music a lot, so I don't want to be offensive, right?
Yeah.
But Tekashi was a sheep among wolves.
He was a sheep around wolf.
You ever heard you remember Tony Montana say you don't got no balls, you don't give no orders type situation? Now I'm not saying Tekashi the man don't have no balls, you know what I'm saying? But when you among wolves, you don't make no decisions. You know what I'm saying? So what you're talking about is you're talking about in business. You put in street stuff in business. He's around nothing but gangsters.
Nothing but
You understand what I'm saying? He's around nothing but gangsters. From the business standpoint, it makes sense to just insulate him, protect him. You understand what I'm saying? Keep him comfortable. Make sure that the engine keep going.
They messed up that whole situation because they didn't understand. It's like you from the bottom and somebody put 10 million in front of you. You went nuts.
Okay. So
the driver got into a brick wall.
Originally, you said crabs in a barrel, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, crabs don't belong in a barrel. We get that, right? That's not their natural habitat. And then we got to focus on like crabs in a barrel. Not really a good way to describe this situation.
So I agree this. You know why? Because there's a bunch of crabs in the barrel and everybody trying to get to the top of the situation. That's all it was.
I hear what you're saying, right? But like when you had somebody like Tekashi, his trajectory was ridiculous, right? He was a whale in the barrel. Like Tekashi got bigger than the barrel itself.
No, the guys around them around.
So the rate that all right. So this is the thing, right? So if it's not really your people, y'all don't if y'all don't go at the same rate, it's gonna cause issues.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like me and you, right? We doing this together. All right. If at any point that we're separate, and I don't want that. Okay, let's get that out the way. If at any point we're separate, the growth would not separate us because we started together, so it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But with Tekashi, he latched on to the blood culture. You know what I'm saying? And he got so big, and you got these neighborhood guys that all they know is this, that, and the third. So he outgrew the barrel that you're talking about.
I'm gonna say it was a bigger. It was too big for them to manage.
Yeah.
This no I wrap it in because you're from Brooklyn. That's a good. This is the reason why we're having this conversation. This is not like I'm going to North Strand and rap in a bar. This is not one of those. This is stadium shit. Right?
And I think we're talking about his career, right? We're talking about his career. We're talking about his surroundings, and I think that it'd be a good time to segue into his decisions. Where said crabs in the barrel led him, and where he had to get out the barrel.
They applied too much pressure, bro. That's what it boils down to. They applied too much pressure. You gotta control the situation and apply too much pressure.
So that's easy. So you're saying it. So I'm understanding what you're saying, right? And what you're saying is coming from a business standpoint. We agree, right?
Yeah.
So you got to understand that you're talking about wolves, right? Okay. Applying pressure is attached to their survival. That's all they know is apply pressure for survival. There's not, but you're talking about business acumen. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know what the.
I would expect better because some of the guys in there have been around Jim Jones. They've been around Jim Jones, but they're parts of the Bird Gang movement. So they've been around the rappers. So they know what success look like because Jim Jones is successful in his own right. You know what I'm saying? So if you're around Jimmy, around Cam, so you see what success look like. This is a different level of success. If this thing had run smooth, he'd have still been going. He'd been 5-6 years in. 5 years in right now.
So you're talking, so you keep, all right, so you're right. Let's say that first, right? I want to say that first. You're right, but you're attaching a business structure to a street structure. And they don't go together. They don't go together. So how many times do we need rappers to be indicted, right? Face some time and not follow the street code? You can't attach business to street. That's the problem. Hip hop, the majority of hip hop is street, right? But right now you're talking about business acumen, and it makes perfect sense. Like,
so I do a lot of documentaries and stuff like that, right? When you look at like the Italian, the mafioso, right? Their street stuff is associated with business.
Okay, so in that
some of them are very successful.
So in that same regard, right? So this is my understanding. This is what I think. It's
Yeah.
not what I know. I gotta always say this, right? So I think that you only reach a certain level of success in the street as a street dude, right? Going against street code. So you mentioned the mob, right? I have every reason to believe that the mob was cooperating with
Yeah, but yeah,
authorities
some
to be
movement.
successful. So you can't put the mob and put it beside street rap
Hmm.
because street rap says that you're not supposed to cooperate with the
Yeah.
authorities. And the mob was able to run and is still running based on their cooperation.
So okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about his level of cooperation and why he cooperated, right? So allegedly, they were sleeping with his woman. It was a fact that they kidnapped him
Okay.
because the plan was to kidnap him and kidnap his mother in order to squeeze some money out of him,
Okay. That makes
right?
sense.
There wasn't a bullying space. There was booking shows and taking him money, so they was doing that type of stuff, right? When I was watching the Vlad interview, this is what he was stating. He was like, well, if they did I tell my friends or I told them people that was doing me wrong and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts on that? No, I know from what I gather, I know he wasn't built like that.
All right. So first things first, right? I remember I was watching an interview for 50. I'm gonna reference 50 often because we're not alike per se, but I get a lot of
You
his
get
his
it,
thought
stuff.
process, right?
Yeah.
We expect warrior codes out of civilians. Okay. I think that if we're gonna be honest, or if we got eyes to see, right? Because like the guys that you're talking about, I had them in my family, I had them as friends,
Yeah.
I could tell the difference between a civilian and a street person.
Yeah.
And often, a lot of our rappers are civilians.
Yeah.
If we're gonna
The
be
people
honest
that
about
wrong
it, you
them
know what I
is
mean? So,
basic.
so here you took someone that wasn't necessarily that's new to the culture because I don't think Takashi was really like on it like that
Nah,
before he
was a
started.
kid.
You know what I mean? That doesn't take anything away from
You
him.
know,
The
he
matter is
wasn't running the
he
street.
wasn't even in the street element
Yeah.
per se. So you took a civilian and you put him in a war zone where there was money,
Yeah.
right? And he's a civilian, so he's gonna make civilian mistakes. He's not gonna follow street code. This is just what it is, right? I'm not making it okay, but I think that even our gangster rappers be civilians sometimes because he's not the first to tell, but we pointing him out.
Yeah. He's the one and the reason why I know why they feel the way they feel about him is because even though he's standing his telling, right? He's standing his snitching or what have you.
That's
It's how he attacked
but hold
everybody
on.
else.
But the thing is, that is the one. He's a grown man.
Yeah.
I was about to call him a kid, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing I actually respect about him.
Yeah, he's standing.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told.
But he was talking crazy to the other popular people.
Okay.
When he was outside, he was applying pressure,
Okay.
Meek,
Okay.
Dirk, all of them.
Okay.
He was talking.
Yeah, but then I mean, if you running
He
around,
was defending himself. I ain't like he was defending himself. It's not like they was talking about him and he responded to when they was talking about him.
again, even
But
I'm not a tough guy, right? I just have I have a hold on, no. I gotta say this. I gotta say this. Yeah, I know. But I'm not a tough guy, but I do have a capacity for survival. That's the cleanest way to say it. I have a high capacity for survival, right? And what I will tell you is that most of our gangster rappers are civilians anyway.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the actual people that you see on screen in the video, civilians.
Not the ones from Chicago though. The ones from Chicago, the real deal.
Okay. You know what? So all right, so bet.
Yeah.
So when I say I have a high capacity for survival, right?
Yeah.
Anyone can take a switch and turn the lights off on somebody. That's a clean way to say it on YouTube, right? Anyone can grab a switch and turn the lights off on somebody, right? So if that's the deciding factor on it, then anybody is that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But what I will say is that there's a lot of civilians, right? And we taking them for more than what they are. And when they show who they really are, we decide who we're gonna accept and who we ain't.
Yeah, but you still answer the question. Was his telling justifiable?
I'm not. All right, so nah. It's not really a hard question to answer but it's kind of like a two-sided. Like I don't know how to answer because I don't relate to Tekashi in a lot of ways, right? So how do you want me to judge him? You want me to judge him based on who I am, or you want me to judge him based on who I know who he is and how I know things go, right? So based on who I am, no. It's not okay to tell. And the reason for that is because accountability is big in my group, right? So if you take part in certain things, you got to be okay with all of the repercussions. That's just what I'm on, right? But based on Tekashi, who he's saying he is, he's outright telling us who he is. Like, yo, I just got here. They did this to me, that to me, that to me. Would you still hold it down? You're gonna do 40 years for some people that try to kill you. All these.
Yeah.
This is his story. This
Because they
testimony.
applied too much pressure.
It's not about, no, they did not apply too much pressure. You know what I'm saying? The street element applies pressure to civilians, and that's the whack part about it.
Yeah.
The strong prey on the weak.
Yeah.
I don't mean no disrespect to Tekashi, you know what I'm saying? But the strong prey on the weak. That's how it is in our neighborhoods, right? It's not the strong going out the hood, right, to apply pressure to the rich where the money at. You know what I mean? They keeping it in the neighborhood. They terrorizing their neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So no. What happened to Tekashi? It was not nice, but that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. And to be honest with you, how I feel about it, I understand what you told, bro. I understand what you told. I understand, you know?
So you
couldn't if he he still totally go to jail that I pray on him. Self-preservation kicked in.
So I'm not all right, I understand the logic behind it. You know what I mean? But it's like, damn, who do we like? We don't hold anyone accountable. You know what I mean?
No, you don't.
We don't hold politicians accountable. You know what I mean? We don't hold the street element that terrorize our community accountable. We're not allowed to hold our women accountable. You know what I mean?
No, we can't talk about that.
The collective. But what I'm saying is like, all right, so I understand where you're coming from. Why are we going to start with him, of all people? We're going to start with Tekashi 6ix9ine to hold him accountable, right? What about the other 5 rappers that's home already? That really claiming to be wolves initiated. You understand what I'm saying? That's claiming to be anti-civilian.
So you plan to you want to touch Atlanta?
I love Atlanta. Atlanta's not off the table. The conversation. So we wasn't only focusing on Tekashi.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
You know what I'm saying? Tekashi's the leader of the new school.
Yeah,
I'm talking. You know the new school, right? Yeah, Tekashi the leader of the new school, and we can't
tell us.
we can't excuse Tekashi.
We
right?
can't.
But no. We can't excuse Tekashi, right, and not excuse the rest of them, right? And we're not trying to excuse Tekashi because I'm not holding Tekashi like I'm saying he's a civilian because I understand street rules, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also saying that Tekashi, I'm holding Tekashi accountable as a man based on his decisions.
Yeah.
Like hold on. So you're allowed to do whatever when things don't work in your favor? Who that sound like? That sound familiar? If things don't work in your favor, everything's all bets off. You can do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's the collective, right? So if it's not okay for if it's okay for Tekashi to change his morals and what he stands for based on how he's being treated, then I think that we should allow the collective to do the same thing. And you know we in disagreement with that, right? So if we're gonna make the collective stand on business, you understand what I'm saying? We gotta make a man stand on business too.
One thing I would say, even though he own up to it and stuff, since he been home, he been standing on business. He ain't been a pushover. He been standing up for himself.
I mean, what is?
Because it's like if you're in a corner, you ever put an animal in the corner?
Yeah, I get it, but who's to say we're biting back? So you was trying to attack a specific region that I love very much, right? And I'm gonna let you lead that segue.
That we talking about Atlanta?
Do your thing. I'll chime in if I have an opinion.
I stand away from Atlanta, boy. I stand away from Atlanta. I ain't really want to talk about the Atlanta thing. I think that they burned that out, bro. I didn't even understand. To be honest with you, I didn't know what's going on in Atlanta when it comes to these rappers.
I do.
Because I watched this thing. 1090 Jake broke down Thug thing. He said Thug really wasn't telling. He was just trying to misdirect the cops. Street people who dissect and say he really was telling, so he shouldn't have nothing to say to the cops.
So
it's just did Gunna tell? Because Gunna said the same thing that Thug brother did. But Tug brother get passed and Gunna don't. It's just too messy, too much going on, bro.
I let the collective engage how they want to engage, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I don't let men move the goalposts.
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I recognize that in society we play favorites.
We do.
This is okay for this person. That's okay. That's okay for that person. I can't make you stand on who you say you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what these conversations are about. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to misrepresent myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to misrepresent myself. I think that people misrepresent themselves. They lead the culture astray. They lead the community astray. And then when the time comes for them to be who they say they are, they never are. And I can't let that rock. And I'm not speaking to anyone specifically. I'm just speaking to like period. You know what I mean? You want to talk about gangster rap and how we're pushing the youth to follow, but when the gangster blowback pause comes, you don't want to be a part of it, right? Or you want to talk about our artists, the collective, who sing about misandry and being single and independent the whole while they're married with children and going through real strife. We pick and choose who we want to make stand on business.
But he's standing on business, yeah. And with that being said, that's the end of this episode.
Like and subscribe, share. We appreciate the support that we've been getting. We've been noticing you guys.
Yeah, we've been going up, yo.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Bless.